Some used fuses, that person was trying to change them beforehand. And we see mirror burning. So the mileage was 4577 and the new mileage is 10K. Try number 52. And we have minus 23. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe. But yeah, today we do have E60, which was brought to us because of the few electrical problems, one of which is basically the cluster shows the wrong mileage. So the background story is that customer changed the cluster because the old cluster was not working. He brought to different electrician. He tried to sync it and everything, but he didn't manage to clear the odometer. Therefore, then he plugged this new cluster back to the car. It picked up a higher mileage. And now that makes our life a bit harder because now we have to change not only mileage to the cluster, as well as we need to change it in the CAS, like immobilizer unit. So yeah, we will do that, as well as customer told us that park distance control doesn't work, power windows doesn't work, and stuff like that. And he said if there's anything else which we see, we should fix those as well. I will take you on the journey on working on this car, and hopefully we will manage to solve all the problems. Another thing which you may be thinking right now is why this car doesn't have bumper. So yeah, this car was bought after front crash damage. It wasn't big crash, but basically it had one of those lips underneath the bumper. Now it's cracked and it's even lower than it was before. So yeah, the bumper, I didn't manage to get the car in the garage. So I had to remove the bumper outside for this car to be able to come to this garage. But yeah, we did that. Either way, we will need to check the park distance sensors or cables. We'll put bumper back, probably outside. On the other hand, the customer still, when we called him and explained him that we had to remove the bumper, he said, "Oh, that's perfect. I need to bring that bumper for repair, for repainting and everything like that." So at least we did one job already. So okay, let's go. So yeah, we already plugged the diagnostics, scanned the fault codes, everything like that, and we see that there is some interface instrument cluster fault that might or might not be because of the wrong virginizing of the cluster, as well as charge air temperature sensor. We should ask customer if he wants us to change that. Outside temperature sensor, customer already told us that we need to change it. There is no communication with the modules on the driver's passenger side, as well as the switch block. So that could be a reason why power windows doesn't work. We already have seen that the light doesn't even come up on the switch block. So we will need to take the door panel down, away, down, not sure. Well, basically just remove the door panel and check if everything is plugged in, if there's no shorts, anything like that. And finally, we have park distance control, which doesn't work. Yep. So we probably should start from, which is the least annoying job. Let's start from the bottom. Let's do park distance control. Make sure that's plugged in or why it's not plugged in or what's wrong with it. Also, we should check the fuses. I made already one short where I was fixing the car and forgot to check the fuse beforehand and spent half day getting parts and stuff like that, where the problem was simply the fuse which was burnt. But yeah, this video is not about that. So yeah, let's go to park distance control and make sure that everything is okay up there. I already started taking the trunk apart, but then decided maybe I should be filming that. Park distance control unit is just underneath of all of this. So yeah, we already took a few plastics down. Just have to remove those. We remove those clamps there as well. And we're simply gonna remove all of the stuff. We'll try not to throw away anything. Problem which occurs quite often is that in spare tire location there is quite often some water which gets through the headlights and bumpers and stuff like that. But we already see that there is no water damage here, and we see that park distance module is disconnected. One of the reasons why this can happen is when this module like breaks, it can disable the whole canvas system. That way nothing works, like wipers, stuff like that, cluster as well. But first of all, we should just try plug back in and make sure, well, check what happens then. Okay, everything at the moment seems working. Well, parks probably will not work because the front bumper is disconnected, but just connect the bumper and then scan the faults, and we'll see if there is any fault. Is there any problems with sensors or with what? It could be as well that one of the sensors were not working and the person didn't want to hear the beeping noise all the time. Therefore, he removed the module. But first of all, yeah, let's plug the bumper back into place, check what's working, what's not, do another diagnostic run, and maybe this problem will get fixed itself. Maybe it's as simple as plugging back PDC module. You're just gonna simply plug back into place. This one we plugged out. So apparently PDC still doesn't work. Let's do a quick scan and check what's happening over there. So we are back on our computer, and we do another scan just to make sure this bit works already. It's working. Well, not working, but just to see what faults we're gonna get. So we finished scanning all the faults. We see there is faults for each of the sensors. We don't know history if previous owner tried to plug back those and try to run module without. Either way, we're just gonna quickly delete fault memory. Well, if I would manage reset control module, as well as activate park distance control, which still doesn't work, but we have less faults. So yeah, basically we have front left, front center right sensors not working. We will check those, as well as whole rear side not working. So that's gonna be more interesting. It might be just that it isn't plugged in or something much worse. Okay, it wasn't that difficult to find the problem. Well, at least for one of the parking sensors. Because when we were unplugging all the sensors, well, the wiring to check if the damage is here or not, we already seen that one of the cables is broken. There should be probably another cable which is broken, maybe here, maybe there. As well as sometimes we know that the problem with those sensors, well, we already see that there is some tape which is not original. Sometimes the problem occurs around 1 inch, not 1 inch, but one whatever from this plug. Because basically it just rubs over here and it gets damaged as well. So we see that something was working over here as well. Everywhere is not original tape. So we'll remove the tape and see what's happening there. Yep, so we are started taking the tape down, we see that there's no damage over here. Of course, at first we already saw that this cable was broken. We'll quickly just connect it back together. And as we were going through the tape over here, because we found one park sensor which was not work. Why one of the sensors were not work, but we had two. So we started going from this side, searching for any broken wire or anything. And one of the things why you need to do this really, really carefully is when you go through the cable, it doesn't look like any damage or nothing, but here you can see there's a slight green stuff on the cable. And if we touch here, that's broken. And once again, if we go through here, that's broken. And the first one which I saw when I was going through this cable was somewhere. Oh, already lost. Yeah, but I think we found our problem as well. We need to check our cables. So usually when there's some break here, there's another break somewhere else. This one is just simply bent, but there's no damage here. So yeah, that's us with the front. We need to do some wiring repair, fix those cables, and then we can go to the back, remove the rear bumper. But yeah, that's another. And as we saw already, this park sensor is on its last legs. That plug is already, this pin was already someone tried to fix it. That one is just gonna break while I play with this wire. So yeah, we still gonna remove the whole tape, just double check, make sure that there's no damage here. Well, anywhere else, fix the cables just to make sure that all the front park sensors are working while we wait for those. If not, then we will order park sensors as well. So yeah, we just remove the rear bumper and we see that basically the wiring is missing for this. That's amazing. Someone put different bumper but removed the wiring. Why? I don't know. So we just finished speaking with owner and we came up with another solution. So a year ago I bought this wiring for my own car with sensors and everything to retrofit park distance control in my car, but never had time to finish it. So what we're gonna do is simply take this cable and then simply plug everything to that plug. So yeah, basically we're just gonna use the older E39 wiring for this car. Well, in this case I think it's E53. Yeah, same cars, same cables, same plugs. Because this car is facelift, basically LCE model, and the park sensors which are used in this bumper is from pre-LCE model. So it's impossible to get the cable over here, which would be with this plug and those plugs. So yeah, it's not original solution. However, it's functional and customer doesn't want to spend loads of money for custom wiring, so we're gonna adapt this wiring to this bumper. That's gonna save us some time at least. We managed to found all the broken pieces at the front, park distance, wiring. We fixed that. Well, few of the bits we fixed, few of the bits still missing. We changed the plug as well. And in the back we managed to put E53 wiring. connected everything all together. Let's do a quick check. TV is on. Yay! It works! Let's wait until CCC will turn on. Give or take, everything seems working. So yeah, that's us finished with park distance control wiring. We just simply need to solder all the joints, put the thermal, seal all the connectors as well, and that will be done with this one. And then we just gonna simply go towards door cover, I believe, next. We'll see what we are more motivated to do, the cluster or the door cover. Okay, next on our agenda is door cover. If I remember correctly, there should be a bolt there. And if I remember correctly, I don't need to remove this plastic tray. So yeah, I'm removing door cover because, especially if you would look here, that doesn't work. Well, it doesn't look like anything is working. So just gonna remove door cover, make sure that this one is connected. And then if it's connected, then we're gonna search deeper for the problem. So yeah, I was correct. And what we see here is that the plug is plugged in, as well as it has ambient lighting. That's decent. So yeah, we're gonna check if we have power to this plug. To do that, we simply gonna use this amazing tool, which I can't remember how it's called. And we want to find ground. Where could we find the ground? We check over here. We have no power here. And basically we don't have any power. Just making sure, can't remember now. Stop beeping. Can't remember now. Can't remember now if we were supposed to have power on ignition or... Yeah, basically we are not getting anything. So we probably should check the fuse. As I have already learned a few times before. Gonna pick up our magic tool and go to the fuse box. So we got into our magical place. If we find a good ground somewhere, it should be okay. No fuse is missing. Making sure positive. This tool is amazing because it makes our life much quicker. You don't actually need to plug into each and every fuse, like with the fuse box. From amount of 10 amperage fuses, we should believe that we have a problem somewhere. First of all, just check those fuses. Our fuses as well. So we don't have any power in this fuse. Simply gonna remove it, inspect it, burnt. up another fuse, but I believe we have much bigger problem now, because usually there's no fuses coming up. So we just change a fuse. It seems like we have power here, and we'll try to reconnect. And we see mirror burning. And we probably found the problem. So you may ask, what just happened? Yeah, basically the mirror is just short-circuited, just like I was expecting when I was putting the fuse box. Usually when you see some used fuses, you know that person was trying to change them beforehand. But yeah, we didn't know the back history. We didn't know that the mirror is short-circuited. We tried to change the fuse, and we saw where the problem was. So yeah, we will be changing the mirror. That will be okay. We need just to order it, probably from scrapyard, and that should be okay. That should solve our problem. So we need to find another 10 amp fuse, change that fuse, plug in the control module, the switch block, and probably that will work at least. At least that will work. So we're back at the fuse box. We didn't find any 10 amp fuses. So sadly, we're gonna use Chinese 7.5 from the same package. That should work as well. Can't remember, did I unplug it or plug it? We'll see. Yeah, we disconnected that. We disconnected the mirror, so we should just plug. So we just plug back in the controller. And if we plug this one back in place, manage to find the place. And from what you can see, all that control works. The only thing which doesn't work is that mirror. But yeah, two problems solved. Park distance control and this power switch. And found the problem. Yeah, it's still warm. The last step on our agenda is gonna be the cluster. Like I said in the very beginning. Over here. Like I said in the very beginning, someone tried already to sync the cluster, managed to ruin the odometer. Now it shows 457,000 kilometers, when actually there is 340,000 kilometers. And what happens usually when you virginize the cluster, you're supposed to remove the mileage, because when you have same VIN number on the cluster and same VIN number on the immobilizer module, it just takes the mileage which is higher. In this case, it was the cluster which had higher mileage, and that way, person just did 130,000 kilometers in 1 second. So yeah, we will be taking out the immobilizer module, cluster, removing the chip from the cluster, reading it, virginizing it, changing mileage at immobilizer, at CAS, basically immobilizer block, and that should solve this problem as well. Move the cluster is quite simple. You just need to undo 2 bolts at the top, just over here and over here. And to remove immobilizer, we need to remove the plastic underneath here. As we can see, some tried to get in here already before. Move freely. That's maybe not that freely. Yeah, so we'll remove the under tray, not under tray, the under plastic under wheel. Remove the CAS module, remove the cluster, and do some magic. Now time to remove. We already removed bolts. Just gonna unplug this one. And that's it. The cluster removed. Now we can go towards the cast module, which is gonna be located just underneath here. There's a hidden bolt here. And just 3 bolts underneath. So we quickly gonna remove those. So yeah, immobilizer module is just over here. We need to remove bolt underneath. And we can start working on it. Okay, we removed the cluster, we removed the immobilizer block, which is cast 3 plus, C4 version. So okay, let's make some space on the table. And let's do some programming stuff. Okay, so take the cluster apart. We need to remove those 4 bolts. That way we will get our cover out. Those 4 clips, which I'm fighting right now, remove the front of the cluster. There are 4 plastic bits which is still holding the cluster board. We undid those. First of all, remove all the plastic bits. It shouldn't be too hard because the cluster was taken apart not that long time ago. So that's our dials removed. And then just simply remove the flex cables. Okay, you may ask why I'm removing the board from this white plastic bit. Simply because the EEPROM which we will be working today is hiding underneath dials, underneath everything. And if I remember correctly, it should be hiding just over here. That's amazing. Let's remove the chip and I will show you next step. So basically the same procedure for when we want to simply virtualize the cluster. We just need to desolder the chip over there, remove the mileage, remove the VIN code, and the car is supposed to sync everything up. So we're gonna make sure to remember what side was it. The STI symbol is supposed to be pin number 1. So we're gonna put some flags. Makes our life a bit easier. Loads of flags here. We're gonna start resoldering. We're gonna make somewhere around 390 degrees in Chinese Celsius. Because I always find those things are not that correct. They're just heating up both sides. That's one side up. Make it nice and easy. And solder back to the board. Yeah, to virginize I'm using CG Pro. Because I usually find this one works with most of the chips. In case if that doesn't work, I will use VVDI Multiproc. And we're gonna plug to our CG Pro. Find our temporary 12-volt supply, which we are using way too long now. I said we're gonna use CG Pro. Simply select dashboard, BMW. Can't remember what chip was it. 080DQ, I believe. Yes, probably we should just plug this in. So we finished with our licenses. Everything's fine. Just gonna choose dashboard 080DQ. Try to read it. That's amazing. As we can see, it's 457,000. We're just gonna write some small number to this cluster. That way it will pick up from the CAS what the actual mileage is. So that's our mileage done. Also, we need to remove, in this case, we're not required to remove the VIN number. But if you are virginizing the cluster, you're supposed to remove the VIN number, which is just over here. And triple check if there's no more VIN numbers, because sometimes you have 1, 2, or 3 even. Yeah, so we're just gonna write this. Make sure that it's saved. Yeah, I think I saved it. Yeah, that's perfect. That's our EEPROM virginized. So we're gonna solder back in, check if everything works fine, if we solder correctly. And I'm gonna move to the immobilizer module. So we're gonna pick up this one, turn our workstation again. Maybe should put some flux, but that's already moving. There's loads of flux already in this solder board. Oh, don't want to move that. So I'm gonna add some flux again. That's gonna make our life just a wee bit easier. A wee bit easier, but our gloves doesn't make our life easy. It's in place. Just gonna make sure it's fully soldered. Don't want bad connection. Oh, that's perfect. That's on. That's perfect. So we're just gonna clean up the board and check on the car if everything is working. And if it does, then we're gonna put the cluster back together. Well, maybe before we clean everything up, we should just check it. You may ask how I'm gonna check when there is no CAS module, especially before I fix that one. It's really simple. I'm just gonna plug it, make sure that CAS is here, and try odometer. And it shows 10,000 kilometers. So the new mileage is 10K. And we're just gonna disconnect that and start assembling the cluster. So yeah, the next task, make sure that we have clean gloves, cleaning all the bits, residues. Yeah, it's putting all those paddles back to place. They're all the same. Well, left one and right one is the same. And how I do that, the would be at the right place is just simply putting in any place and then simply turning to the right one. And let's do that with all four. It's amazing. Not too high, not too low. That will do. And same with RPMs. So that's paddles back in place. We can put the cover to place. Button is still there. Didn't lose the button, which is fine. And then simply squeezing that back in the place. At least managed to put the plug back in. Oh, it doesn't want to go in. And that's all I was done with this cluster. Just gonna plug again to make sure everything works fine. Yeah, everything seems working. So yeah, next on our agenda is removing the CAS board. For this task I will be using VDI Multiprog, because with CAS I trust it a bit more. Because CGDI has some few problems, as well as my adapter is broken at the moment. Most likely that's the case. But yeah, it's simple as removing board is simple as hooking those hooks. No love for immobilizer. I should probably take a few more screwdrivers, but I just can't be bothered. And that's it. Connected this immobilizer module. Oh, my battery of the light is dying. I'm simply gonna use one of those CAS adapters. And just gonna do some software upgrade. Well, not upgrade, that will change the mile. So yeah, we just finished writing all the info to the CAS, and now we should take this adapter apart. Well, you probably should be seeing if you want. You should be taking this adapter apart and plug everything in the car and check what mileage do we have here. We just finished putting cluster and everything back together, coded for when to come, and here we go. We have nearly original mileage. I don't even know what the actual was, but he said somewhere around 330, so give or take 340 will do its job. So yeah, that's us done with cluster and CAS. That's perfect, amazing. So tomorrow I should be getting sensors. I will be changing those as well. But for now, let's go to tomorrow. Okay. It's the next day now. I'm gonna take out this one. So it's the next day. We are today fighting. We got both of the sensors arrived. We haven't changed the charge air pressure temperature sensor yet. However, when we were changing the sensor of outside temperature, we found that still doesn't work. We found already some broken wires, some oxidation here, but we decided that we need a new plug. So we will try to connect over here. Doesn't really matter what side you're gonna plug those in, because after all it just measures resistance. Yeah, because we tried to like shorten the cable and everything and still doesn't work. So we will try a new plug. Check quickly if the temperature comes back alive. If not, then we're gonna go through this wire section and try to find the defect there. And as you can see, still minus 40. Still minus 40. So that didn't help. Now we will go through all this section. We'll try from here because we see some aftermarket wiring tape, and we see some oxidation there as well. And okay, it was quicker to find than I expected. We see both of the cables broken over here. Oh, that one is fully broken. This one literally next to breaking. So if we take this one, we see it. There should be a problem there. Just gonna take a bit further. Yeah. Try number 52, probably. And we have minus 23. We'll try to lock it, unlock it. Okay, it's not minus 22 outside, but at least it shows something. So we'll go just further up. But yeah, we are on the right track. Okay, we have much better quality copper here. That might work. Then once again, just putting a quick crimp, not crimp, but quick one. And that should just change. Yeah, so the sensor just brought back from outside, so that sensor didn't have time to warm up yet. It's I put the heater on just a few minutes ago. It's still not that warm in the garage. It's not plus 11. It's better than that, but yeah, that seems like working. So yeah, basically we're just gonna do new cable towards there, and that's another problem fixed. Perfect. So there's only charger pressure sensor left, which we gonna change next. So yep, next on our agenda is changing the sensor, which is just underneath there. Hopefully you can see the plug at least. Yeah, we have a new sensor, just gonna quickly swap those. It's as simple as just simply turning the sensor to one of the sides, removing. I will need both hands for that, and I'm holding hammer right now. Yeah, we're just gonna quickly change that, as well as check if the cable is okay, because I see some damage. It looks like I have see some damage there. But yeah, just gonna do that quickly, and that's it. And of course, so as per usual with this car, not sure if you can see, but there's some damage, some wiring damage. So we're gonna fix the cable, change the sensor. That's another problem solved. So we just quickly check the faults again. So yeah, the door mirror, we remember it needs to be changed. I spoke with the owner. He said he's gonna do that later on. The aux sensor and fogging sensor doesn't concern us, as well as auxiliary water pump and washer nozzle heat. But yeah, no big faults anymore. That's amazing. Now it's time just to simply put everything back together. Yeah, I should probably put the bumper back, fix the wiring. Well, not fix, but finish the wiring. As well as put door cover back, cath module back, cluster in place, as well as the rear bumper. Yeah, we have some things to do. So, okay, that's us finished with the wiring. We fix all the wirings, put the new outside temperature sensor, check if everything's okay with washer fluid level sensor, everything's fine. We put all car together. So this one over here, as we can see, everything works fine. As well as we put the bumper back in place. Yes. And everything inside. And yeah, everything works. So you can see the temperature sensor over there. That's working. As well as the park distance control works just fine. So yeah, that's us done with this car. We fixed the cluster. We fixed all the parking sensors. We found out why power windows were not working. Unfortunately, we didn't change the mirror, but the owner can change it himself. As well as we fixed all other small and bigger problems. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And see you in the next video. Bye.